So in the final piece, you really have two images. Large projection looking from the top of the stairs down into the entrance, coming through a live feed from inside the diorama. And as you move close to the wall, you find a little hole with light coming out of it. And looking through the hole, you see the diorama itself. You find yourself looking in the opposite direction from the bottom of the stairs upward towards the second floor. Making images and objects, you can't help but think about what it is you're actually doing beyond merely fabrication. In a way, you're really setting up relationships between objects and images and people. I think of Dutch interior as being an exploration of this kind of most basic and fundamental of relationships, between oneself and another. It seems that there's something inherently compelling about repetition and about the loop. It's like a fireplace, or, it's sort of like a moth to the flame. There's just, something that kind of draws you in, makes you want to just kind of stare at it for a while. The image, and I'm watching material that I've been working with already. The title of Fragment of a Crucifixion is a direct quote from a Francis Bacon painting from the 50s, and like many of Francis Bacon's figures, he's screaming. And the question is, screaming why, or because of what? I saw in that image of the basketball player a figure, again, surrounded sensorially by extreme situation. There is a kind of humiliation in that process of simply becoming objects of admiration, or people simply becoming consumers. Morning After the Deluge is a direct quote from a painting by Turner. It refers to this investigation of perceptual phenomena in nature, and also has a biblical reference, since the morning after the deluge is from the story of Noah's Ark. So if you really think about it, it's the morning after the complete annihilation of the world. These days, it's quite idealistic to think of the viewer as being anything but distracted, given the kind of image-saturated world that people function in. In Morning After the Deluge, you have to be there for at least a few minutes, if not for the full 20 minutes, to see the full loop and to get the full sense of the sun rising and setting. In a way, it's not very viewer-friendly. The shot is in real time. It almost looks like nothing's happening. You really have to kind of stand for a while to get the sense that the sun is slowly setting and rising. In the meantime, though, there's a lot of other action that's happening on a much smaller scale. You have birds flying very quickly through the screen. It's almost like at a pixel level, barely there at all, but projected big. This is something that you get to see. This is maybe what you enter in on as a moving image, but then as you sit with it for a while longer, then the bigger movements could be some way to create something that you could take something away from it, you know, even if you're only there for like a fraction. If you're asking yourself, is there anything beyond television, you could turn off the television and go outside. But I think what's more interesting for an artist is to attempt to answer that question through an exploration of the medium itself. And I'm attempting to answer it through a kind of creation of the illusion.